at the time, comes out and says, I don't think she was doing it on purpose. The coach says that. Go all the way to the front. This is how she plays. Look,
damn, girl.
She's obviously very sweet. She doesn't at all have any negative intent at all. She doesn't hit hard, and she plays very clean basketball.
White privilege.
And watch what she does to the eyes. You see?
Ooh, wow. The play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time.
That's her in the back.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Went straight to a press conference.
So you can pause it right there.
And that's her right there.
That's her in the back, and that's the foul.
Here comes kindness.
I stand by them. I will always stand by them.
Amen.
Everybody else can go to hell.
Oh, wait a minute.
Kindness.
Wait a minute.
So you know what? We need kindness.
Grace.
They go high, you go.
Grace.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
When
wholesome
they go
Christian. And
low,
goes, hey, by the way,
we go
to hell, and then you leave.
And
Walking,
you
talking
run up.
contradiction.
Everybody else is trying to divide our locker room. No, not having your players back will do quite the adequate job at doing
He
that.
replayed the footage, stared directly into the camera, and voiced what countless fans had already been thinking. Stephanie White witnessed the play unfold in real time, yet instead of calling it honestly, she tried to change the narrative days later, only after the backlash became impossible to ignore.
Carrington clothesline from hell incident the other day, in which she came out and said, "Oh, Djonai's she's not a dirty player. She just plays real hard." Blah 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 blah. I mean, look, she turns into the Charlie Brown teacher pretty quickly with a lot of people. At least with me, she does. The moment I realize she's going to do it again and not back her own player, yeah, I'm out. I got to tell you, one of the most obvious traits of a terrible leader, not taking any responsibility.
Here's where everything kicks off. Djonai Carrington goes up as if she's attempting to block Sophie Cunningham, but instead catches her hard across the neck. Cunningham immediately crashes to the floor and has to be examined by trainers at courtside. Officials assess Carrington a flagrant 2 foul and eject her from the game before the broadcast can even finish showing the collision from another angle.
Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White walked past her own player Sophie Cunningham to check on Djonai Carrington after the hard foul.
Nobody inside that arena needed a slow-motion replay to realize how serious the hit looked. Watch Stephanie White on the sideline at the exact moment it happens. Her eyes are fixed directly on the play. She isn't studying a clipboard or speaking with an assistant coach. She watches the entire collision unfold just feet from her bench. That detail becomes crucial because only a few days later, White appeared to quietly reshape that part of the story.
I don't think that Djonai intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup, and so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
Immediately after the game, reporters questioned Stephanie White about the foul, and her response was firm. She praised Carrington for competing with everything she had, insisted no opponent would get an uncontested layup against her, and admitted she had no issue with the hard foul itself. White also said she didn't believe Carrington deliberately targeted Cunningham's neck, even though she had watched the collision unfold from only a few feet away. That doesn't sound like a coach who failed to see what happened. It sounds like someone carefully defending a player she had personally coached for 2 seasons in Connecticut.
I can't believe that Stephanie White kind of stood up for Carrington. You would never see Cheryl Reeve, Becky Hammond doing this. You may think something, but you sit in a press conference and say that in front of your team? You don't do that. That's how you lose the team. The team will go against you. What? I'm blown away by that. You can think, oh, I used to coach her, talk to her on the side, whatever, but you don't go on national news and basically put down your own team.
White wasn't speaking about some unfamiliar player from a rival team. She had built a genuine relationship with Carrington, coached her inside the same locker room, and understood her competitive intensity firsthand. So when it came time to describe the foul for what it appeared to be, White chose to soften the situation instead.
And why is Fever coach Stephanie White defending Djonai Carrington over her own player? That is absolutely bizarre, considering you can watch the replay of that, and it was absolutely unacceptable what happened to Cunningham. Both Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Collins are wonderful role models for young children, and they play the game exceptionally well. Sophie Cunningham said that the hit by Djonai Carrington was intentional, but Sophie Cunningham's coach sided with Carrington. Carrington is a Chicago Sky Guard that was once coached by White. I just can't understand why the WNBA is not doing more to protect their players. When Stephanie White was interviewed, she said she doesn't oppose the foul, but she definitely doesn't think it was intentional. That Carrington plays her butt off. That's a pretty generous interpretation of what happened to Sophie Cunningham.
The backlash to that press conference was immediate and impossible to ignore. Courtside fans reacted angrily as soon as the replay appeared on the Jumbotron, while clips of the collision flooded social media and attracted millions of views within hours. Analysts repeatedly raised the same question: how could a flagrant 2 foul that left a player needing medical attention be described by her own coach as something she didn't oppose? As the criticism intensified, so did the pressure on Stephanie White to distance herself from what she had already said publicly. That pressure may explain why, just days later, White presented a noticeably different version of events, this time in front of new cameras and with a completely different tone.
Last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that. I didn't have that in real time.
Were there any
I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time. All the time.
3 days after the incident, Stephanie White returned to the podium, but this time her tone was noticeably different. She claimed she hadn't seen the play unfold in real time, explaining that she went directly from the bench to a scheduled press conference and only understood how severe the foul looked after watching the replay. White also pushed back against accusations that she hadn't supported her players, insisting that she stands behind every one of them without exception. But there was one major problem. Footage from the original broadcast appears to show White watching the play as it happened. She wasn't turned away, focused on a substitution, or speaking with someone on the bench. She was facing the court with an unobstructed view of the exact area where the contact occurred. Her claim that she missed it live seems difficult to reconcile with what the cameras captured that night. Once viewers compared the sideline footage with her revised explanation, serious questions began to emerge, and her version of events no longer appeared to fit.
I couldn't see it.
Say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real
That's
time.
her in the back.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Went straight to a press conference.
So you can
I thought
pause it
the
right
play
there.
got-
And that's her right there.
That's her in the
picture?
back, and that's the foul. What do you mean you can't see the foul?
Unbelievable.
And she says she got a better view than some of the referees got. And then this is how she comes and cries on TV about the criticism she got. How dare people on social media call her out? Go for it.
This was the moment that truly ignited the online debate. Someone placed the original sideline footage beside White's later press conference remarks and examined the sequence frame by frame. After watching the comparison, it's difficult to understand how she could have completely missed the play. Her head remains facing the court, and her gaze appears to follow the action from beginning to end. Whatever she witnessed that night, the footage suggests she saw it unfold live, not for the first time 3 days later in a replay. So why did her explanation change? Many viewers pointed toward White's history with Carrington. She had coached her, knew her personally, and had already defended her publicly. Critics therefore questioned whether, as the backlash intensified, protecting that relationship influenced how White later described what she had witnessed.
Were there any
I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time. All the time. They know that. It's a shame that we can't have an opportunity to talk about what great basketball they're playing. Because they are f***ing playing. The reality is, with me, I will always lead with love. I will always lead with grace. I will always lead with humility. And I will always lead with integrity. Doesn't mean I'll always get it right. I'm also human. The hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win.
This is where the contradiction becomes impossible to ignore and where the online backlash truly exploded. During that same series of press conferences, White raised her voice and passionately declared that she stands behind her players regardless of what anyone outside the locker room thinks. It sounded like a head coach drawing a firm line and defending her entire roster against outside criticism. But which players was she defending? The person injured on that play, Sophie Cunningham, is also one of her players. She wears the same jersey, shares the same locker room, and practices under the same head coach every day. If that loyalty applies equally across the roster, Cunningham deserved that same passionate support when the foul happened. Her coach should have acknowledged how serious the contact appeared immediately, not 3 days later, after widespread criticism had already forced the issue into the spotlight.
And then she put both hands up right after. But that's, Djonai's not doing things half speed, right? No. Like she's swinging hard and coming back.
Now, this is where the pattern became much harder to dismiss, and exactly why the controversy refused to disappear. Only days after the foul on Cunningham, Carrington was defending Cecilia Zondalicini of the Golden State Valkyries when she appeared to catch her directly near the eye while reaching for the ball. Officials issued neither a flagrant foul nor a technical, but the footage quickly circulated online because viewers saw troubling similarities to the previous incident. Once again, the contact landed near an opponent's face rather than cleanly on the basketball. A single incident can reasonably be viewed as accidental, but when a similar collision happens again so soon afterward against a different opponent, it naturally raises questions about whether there is a pattern that deserves closer examination instead of another immediate dismissal.
Now here we have her completely so far away from the basketball, just slapping Tiffany Hayes in the face. Let me just reach and see if I could grab some face real quick. Just smacking Tiffany Hayes in the face. Not really not that big of a deal. Steph, any thoughts on this one?
One of the things about Nay is that she's gonna play her butt off, man. She's gonna compete. Nobody's gonna go walking in for a layup. And
fair enough.
And it didn't end there. Later in that same game, Carrington appeared to catch Tiffany Hayes across the mouth during another tightly contested possession. That meant 2 separate instances of contact near an opponent's face in a single outing, coming only days after the flagrant foul involving Cunningham. Looking further back, viewers have resurfaced clips from previous seasons that they argue show a similar trend: aggressive defensive plays resulting in contact above the shoulders rather than directly on the ball. Taken together, those moments make Stephanie White's original "she plays hard" defense more difficult for critics to accept at face value. If this were simply one physical defender having an unusually reckless week, fans might quickly move on. But when similar incidents appear across different games, opponents, and seasons, questions about playing style and control become harder to dismiss. At that point, many would argue that someone with genuine authority should address the issue directly instead of repeatedly explaining each incident away.
Performative anger, and I look at it this way. This is not an apology. This is justification, an excuse wrapped in emotion with performative outrage. That's what I think. And she's glancing at the paper there. You know, sincere apologies don't need a one-pager that was likely written by, I'll say likely, I don't know, likely written by the Fever PR flack and likely approved by the league. Every statement that goes out here, the league wants the...
I didn't even think about the league. Fever, yeah, it needs to clear the Fever PR, but clearing the league, that's an interesting perspective I have not heard yet. Did the league see this before Stephanie went out and did that? It's a very interesting point, Tom.
The uproar to stop, but they like the eyeballs. But this is going over the waterfall. And I look at it this way. If I was on the board, I would be saying to the CEO, you know what? I think this thing has gone over the waterfall here, and I think we need to make a change. We need to make a change in leadership. And if I was an owner of the Fever, I would fire her.
I would as well.
I would say, I don't think that was...
You can't back up the players.
Commentators who were already skeptical of White's post-game remarks pointed to the Valkyries game as evidence that their concerns were not exaggerated. If Carrington's physical style continued producing contact near opponents' faces while her former coach repeatedly softened the criticism, the controversy was no longer about one hard foul. It raised a broader question. Was White prepared to hold her former player accountable, or was their personal relationship influencing her response? That relationship is the tension underlying this entire story. White coached Carrington for 2 full seasons, building trust that would not necessarily disappear simply because they now represent different teams. So when the foul happened directly in front of her, and White initially described it as Carrington competing hard, critics interpreted that reaction as a former coach protecting someone she still cared about, not as a neutral assessment of a dangerous play that injured one of her current players. Then the backlash intensified. Fans expressed their frustration both inside the arena and across social media, while reports suggested people within White's own team were also unhappy with how the incident had been handled. Once the criticism became impossible to ignore, White revised her original remarks. That was when she introduced the claim that she had not seen the play unfold live. But viewers argued that the explanation conflicted with both the sideline footage and the certainty of her initial post-game response. If White truly had not seen the play clearly, they questioned why she spoke so confidently about Carrington's intentions and competitive nature, instead of acknowledging that she needed to review the footage first. That inconsistency transformed the controversy into something larger than simply a coach choosing the wrong words. The sequence itself became the story: a confident defense immediately after the game, a revised explanation once the backlash escalated, and finally an emotional declaration about supporting her players, one that sounded to many viewers like White was defending her own actions as much as anyone on her roster.
Every day these women put their on the line.
They're not soldiers. They're ball players, ma'am. They don't need to get beat up on the court.
Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Oh, girl. Well, Stephanie, ma'am, clearly you did not stand and back your players who were deliberately being struck on the court. But somehow you made this about you. Somehow you're the victim in all of this. This is about basketball, ma'am. This is not about you. Stop playing the victim. You failed your player as a coach. There's even video out there where you were walking right past her after the stuff happened.
And that loyalty, however genuine it may have been, appeared to benefit only one side. Cunningham was the player who got hurt, and she was the one who needed her coach to immediately recognize the contact as dangerous and unacceptable. Instead, White initially gave the benefit of the doubt to Carrington, a player she had previously coached, while her current player waited days for a clear acknowledgement of how serious the collision appeared. None of this means viewers must assume the worst about White personally. Coaches form meaningful relationships with athletes over many years, and those connections can shape their reactions under pressure, sometimes without them even recognizing it. But critics saw several details that were difficult to reconcile. Footage appearing to show White watching the play, later remarks that differed from her original response, and additional incidents involving similar contact shortly afterward. Taken together, those inconsistencies created the impression that White witnessed what happened, instinctively protected a former player, and revised her explanation only after the backlash became impossible to ignore. Declaring that you stand behind your players sounds powerful from a podium, but supporting every player equally, including the one who was injured, is very different from appearing to choose a side and hoping nobody notices.
You know, I think there's just been a lot of outside noise, but our locker room is good, and that's what it is to be an Indiana Fever on the staff. As a player, that you know when you come here, that's going to be one of the things that's going to try to distract you. But our locker room in there, it's tight, and we have each other's backs. Coach loves us. She didn't see the clip. At the end of the day, she didn't see the clip, and you know what, Djonai, she is a hell of a player. She's a great defender, and so she coached her for I don't know how many years up in Connecticut. So give her flowers, and she didn't see it, and that's okay. Me and Steph are great. Steph is great with all of us, and so it's really the outside noise that's trying to distract us, but we're good.
Sophie Cunningham didn't remain silent after the incident. In her post-game remarks, she described the foul as intentional, explained how forceful the contact felt, and made it clear that she did not view it as an accidental collision. Her account stood in direct contrast to White's initial defense, adding yet another layer to the controversy. When the injured player describes the moment differently from the coach who watched nearby, it is hardly surprising that many fans are more inclined to trust the person who actually absorbed the hit, especially when the alternative explanation arrives days later amid growing backlash.
I talked to Steph earlier in the day too, and you know, I think we forget a lot of times, like, we're human and she has feelings, and you know, there's moments that are really hard, and sometimes that's just the job you sign up for. But at the same time, like, it's okay to feel those emotions. And I just told her, like, I've been through the same thing. Like, there's been days where I've been really upset, and you can have the thickest skin in the world, but sometimes it does get to you. And, you know, I think our world is just like, we love to hate, we love to divide. Like, that's all we want to do. Like, nobody wants to see each other succeed. And I think that's a really painful thing for myself to watch. I feel like we need to do a better job at uplifting each other, and I can assure you there was no way we were losing this game tonight. And I told her that before the game. Like, there was no way we were losing this game for her, and, you know, it's tough. Like, that's my head coach. Like, I hated that our fans booed her before the game. That made me a little sick, to be honest.